They are lined up, and we are just about ready to go racing here at Caraway Speedway, the third race on the NASCAR Whelen Southern Modified Tour to take place here at this track that has hosted more tour races than any other track on the tour. Just a tick shy of a half mile here at Caraway. If you want the specifics, 0.455. You see our weather conditions. Just about 3 hours ago, we had a rain shower come through that kind of slowed things down here, but it looks okay at the moment. There are a couple dark clouds around, so there is a threat of rain in the area, but hopefully it will be ready to go. Temperature at 78 degrees. And we mentioned this is a little shorter than a half mile. It's a semi-banked oval that was built in 1966. It was a dirt track for 6 years. It was paved back in 1972. They have had more races here than at any other track on the tour. This is number 32. And way back in the day, you had some success here, didn't you, Mr. Spencer?
I did. I was fortunate to race a modified here and win at this track. Very touchy racetracks, very temperature sensitive. I believe now that we're underneath the lights, the track's probably going to maintain a little bit more grip, opposite of what they were doing this afternoon. It was pretty hot and sunny, and you mentioned the rain shower, but the thing about this racetrack, you've got to get a hold of the exit, the corners, a whole of the racetrack. What I mean is when you step on the power, Eric, you've got to be able to get the car to come off the corner. You can pass on this racetrack. They also have to remember, 150 laps, they will not be able to pit for tires tonight. These guys, what they have now, they have to finish the race on it. They will not be making pit stops.
Keep an eye on the top of the starting lineup. That's how they qualified with Seuss #1, Miller #2, but they had the redraw, and it's going to be Miller starting inside of row 1. We'll get on that in a minute, and you take a moment here to think, because it's time for our eyes on drivers. I'm going to keep you last here, Mr. Spencer.
Okay.
All right, and we give the leadoff spot to Rob.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. I'm going to go with the 23 Chevy driven by Brian Lofton. Of his 11 record-tying wins in the Southern Modified Tour, 7 here at this racetrack. I asked him, what's the plan here tonight? He said, Rob, it's extremely simple. Get to the front as soon as possible, pull away, and try and lead all 150 laps. He'll have to do it inside row number 3. Eric?
Thanks, Rob. My eyes are on Andy Seuss.
I don't get to pick?
No, you go last.
Oh, my.
You go last. So Seuss is taken, just so you know. But I'm going with Andy Seuss. 7 career wins, 3 here at Caraway. He was fastest in qualifying. This track just fits him really well, and he's very comfortable here, he says. So we'll see how he comes out.
He could be the spoiler. He could play havoc on the Miller and the 79 Chevelle. But I'm going with Frank Fleming. I even raced against this guy. This guy has finished second 5 times at this racetrack. He has started every race here at Caraway, and most of all, I like his brother. My brother helped me win in my racing career, my brother Ed, so I'm going with him. Chris Fleming is his crew chief, and I hope that Frank could pull it out for us tonight, the 40 car.
Yeah, the 51-year-old who was pretty fast in qualifying here today, so he has a fast car. We'll see how it all plays out. You have your eye on the qualifiers. We have our eye on the green flag as we're ready to race here on a Saturday night at Caraway Speedway. Start for Andy Seuss as he jumps out here at Caraway. Seuss pulling away from L.W. Miller. John Smith trying to jump into the 3rd spot. Here comes Frank Fleming right behind Smith, and next to Fleming is Jason Myers in the number 4.
And what we're seeing now is these guys really battling it out. We see him too wide racing. They're trying to establish themselves. We see Seuss with a pulling away from Miller, but now we're seeing Miller start to close the gap back up.
Miller dives into 3 as Seuss tries to hold him off. Seuss won here once this year. Miller coming off a win at Bowman Gray. Seuss may be the prince of Caraway. If L.W. Miller is going to be the king of Caraway with his 6 career wins here, Seuss has 3 wins here at Caraway very early in his racing career. Those two go 1-2 here in the opening laps.
And we also see the 25 car here of John Smith. We remember him at Bowman Gray. Yeah, this guy here was snuggled in the back. He took a long time to get to the front. He started up front today. Now he's running third, but we're seeing a lot of pressure put on by Frank Fleming in fourth. So we're seeing a lot of side-by-side racing here. This is the neat thing about Caraway.
And how about the Myers brothers trying to get together here? Bert in the number 1, Jason in the number 4, as they battle going down the backstretch.
Now we're seeing Miller trying to put a move on Seuss on the inside. He does not prevail off of turn 4, but he is not surrendering. He keeps up the pressure on him coming off of turn 1 and 2. Man, just really good racing all through the field here.
Seuss and Miller, a little space with John Smith there. Frank Fleming looking on the inside, and Smith shuts him out going into turn 1. The question will be here today, how many racing lines will there be? Sometimes it's a little trouble getting that outside line here at Caraway, the drivers have said.
It seems that they can't get it worked in yet. And usually the outside line, you need to get the outside line working, because if you start getting in the lap traffic, this is going to be a pivotal point where you catch that lap car at, and you're going to have to probably pass him on the outside. So yes, it could play havoc later on in the race.
Look at Miller right on the bumper of Seuss and taking a peek on the inside.
Boy, that's good racing into 1 and 2. Miller on the bottom, not surrendering at all. Seuss, and he pulls back into the lead.
Seuss had pulled away right from the green flag, but Miller getting right up in there as Seuss wobbles a little bit. We'll try again going into 1.
Well, we're starting to see the second group work, because Seuss goes into 1 and 2 a little high, and he maintains the lead as he exits the corner again. So we're starting to see the two lanes starting to develop. We see Miller making these attempts on the inside, but Seuss holding him off in 1 and 2.
Meanwhile, back in the pack, James Savali right now running in 6th position. Brian Lofton chasing him. You see Fleming, who, as we mentioned, was good in qualifying.
Don't forget, Fleming has 5 second-place finishes here, so he knows what to expect in this race tonight, but he cannot get around Johnson in the 25 car. Smith in the 25 car.
Finished second 5 times here at Caraway, as Jimmy mentioned, including last July. Miller again looking inside Seuss, but again, Seuss holding on to the lead. We talked about Savali and Miller at the top of our telecast, Jimmy, but don't forget where Andy Seuss is. He's just 32 points out of first place, in 3rd place right now.
We're only seeing Miller again try the bottom. And remember what LW said. I'm sorry, but Savali said, you get bonus points for leading the most laps. So Seuss is saying, hey, I'm not out of this battle yet, guys. I'm leading this race, and as of now, I've led 16 laps, and I'm going to try to lead another 134.
Seuss and Miller go 1-2. John Smith 3rd, Frank Fleming 4th, Myers, Savali 5-6, Lofton and Jason Myers 7-8, Zach Brewer 9th, and an interesting name has made his way to Caraway here today. George Brunhosel III, the reigning series champion. He's been racing up north, but this is his 2nd race on the Southern Modified Tour this year. Of course, had an amazing year last year winning the points championship. 5 victories, 6 pole wins, 13 top 5s in 14 races in 09. And he's here today. Bit of a surprise to see him here riding around this track in the 28.
Yeah, he was a late entry, and you know, it's very interesting because he is the past champion. And hey, come on up to race at Caraway, why not? And right now he's moving through the field.
Right now he is in the top 10, trying to push Zach Brewer just a bit. And meanwhile, up front, it's still Seuss and Miller in a tight battle.
We see Savali back there getting a lot of pressure put on from the number 23 car, Brian Lofton. And well, I'll tell you what, Savali, I thought it was going to be in a little bit better shape tonight, but he's still maintaining it. But a lot of pressure being put on right now by Lofton.
We have been caution-free so far here at Caraway Speedway. Andy Seuss, who won the pole in the redraw. He started outside of row 1, jumped right to the front, and that's where he stands right now in the early going in North Carolina. Andy Seuss continues to lead here at Caraway, the Triad Commercial Property Services 150 on Versus. He's pulled away just a bit from L.W. Miller. Seuss has led right from the first lap here tonight at Caraway Speedway. Let's head down to the pits. Rob Clemmer standing by. Rob.
Well, guys, James Savelli not having the best night thus far, but he did tell me earlier in the night that his plan is simple. About the first 60 to 75 laps, he is on cruise control. He has said absolutely nothing on the radio. So maybe Jimmy Spencer, he's trying to save those tires. We also wanted to mention we saw the 12 of Mike Norman pull in the pits. No oil pressure on the board.
Well, Rob, Mike Norman did go out and run a lap and came out. It's been a very difficult day for Mike, a rookie here on the tour, and longtime friend and crew member. Joe Plowman passed away this morning, and Mike came out here, but it's going to be a very early night. Credit to him and his crew for coming here and getting out to take that green flag, and their night is over right now. You mentioned, and we heard from Rob a moment ago about Savali's strategy. What is the best strategy here? Because tires are so important at this track.
Well, he brings a great point up because you're not allowed to put tires on your car. So the tires you started with, you have to finish with. Now we see Seuss still leading and consistently running about 1/10 of a second quicker than anybody. Seuss is leading this race and actually pulling away from everybody. But yet we know the experience that Savali has. And if he is saving his tires, a lot of laps left. We've only completed a third of the way. So maybe his strategy will work. Time will tell. But good idea, saving your tires.
Well, there you see Savali trying to keep his pace there. But meanwhile, up front, it is Andy Seuss in front. He won the race here back in the spring to get his year going in a great direction. The Spring Classic 150 at Caraway here on March 14th. Needless to say, Andy Seuss likes Caraway.
Favorite places to go on this tour because it's so racy. You can use the inside, the outside. We have had some success there in my short career in the Southern Tour with 3 wins. So it's a place I look forward to going to, a place that I feel I have the upper hand when we go. The crew always gives me a great car when we go there, so we're always looking to end up in victory lane.
And it's not like this track is right down the road for him like it is for a lot of the guys we see here today. Andy and his crew come down from New Hampshire every week. There's a race here on the Southern Tour. He says he loves it. They know their little stopping points along the way, the Jersey Turnpike, wherever they stop, and they get here and they race, and they've had a lot of success here on the tour.
You know, deep down inside you're saying, you know what, I hope this guy wins, because that's a long way.
New Hampshire is a long
driving back tomorrow, but you know what? He likes this racetrack, and I can tell you this as a driver, you love to race a place. Yes, it's a long trip, but you love to go to a racetrack that you've had success at. It helps your confidence level when you go to other facilities.
So Seuss and Miller are towards the top. John Smith is third, and your guy, Frank Fleming, who has had a lot of success here at this track, is hanging tough there in the number 4 position.
Yeah, and what we're starting to see now is Seuss has opened up about a 0.6 of a second on second place, and then Miller has opened up on Fleming. And well, Fleming in the 4th, Smith moved into 3rd. So these guys are about 3.5 seconds behind the leader right now, as we're seeing Frank here in 4th. So that's a lot of distance to give up. Is he also saving his tires? Remember, Frank, a lot of second place finishes here. He has had some success here also.
We have completed 56 of 150 laps here at Caraway. It is a 68.25 mile race here on this August evening.
And you know what's interesting, Eric, is you never could tell in a NASCAR race the tempo. They drop the green flag. These guys racing hard. No cautions yet. So this is really interesting. This is going to be hard on these guys' tires. They have no chance to cool these tires down. So this is really we'll start showing here. Can they maintain this pace? Because they're setting a pretty torrid pace right now.
And pretty big separation now. 1-2 is tight. Seuss and Miller. Then you drop back just a bit to John Smith and Frank Fleming, who we just talked about in 4th position, well back, and he has Burt Myers right on his back bumper.
Yeah, we also see, you know, the Myers now. Lofton has passed Savali. Myers has passed Savali. and Savali's all the way back to 8th. Now Brumholzer's moved up to 9th. So this is really interesting. I'm really wondering, is Savali saving that much? Because he is right now some 6.5 seconds behind the leader, Seuss.
Savali posted right now in 8th position. Brunholzel in 9th, and Brandon Heyer in 10th place. Heyer in the number 44. Started and finished 11th here in the July race at Caraway. Had an accident in Bristol last time out and finished last.
We're starting to see a little heat on these brake rotors. You know, we're seeing the battle here between Frank Fleming and Burt Myers. And look at the rotors. You see right into that big wheel. And this is interesting because these cars aren't prone to be having a big brake and a lot of cooling. So this could start playing a little bit of a strategy into their game. If you use the brakes up, you're in trouble at this racetrack. Look how red the rotors are on Myers' car.
There were 8 cautions in the July race here at Caraway. We have not had a caution here tonight. It's been green flag from the beginning. As you see some of the vitals on Burt Myers, we were there at the stadium. Myers is in front, got the little bit of a love tap from L.W. Miller, and Miller went on to his 11th career victory.
Yeah, that was a great race. And when we saw a patented move, you know, where, Myers just started to get a little looser than he needed to be, and LW put a great move on him and turned 3 and 4 and passed him. But, I'm telling you, fans, when I see this much heat in these brake rotors, this is not a sign of a car that's handling really well. Also, you're going to start seeing where this could really start playing havoc on the tires, the beads of the tires. Plus, boiling the brake fluid, you'll start fading. The brakes won't be as firm. And imagine as you step on the brakes, it just keeps getting softer and softer. That's what's happening to Myers' car. But yet he's still not giving up as he's trying to pass Fleming on the outside and turn 3 and 4.
Fleming in that battle right now as Burt Myers looks on the outside. And Myers, does he have enough to hold on to that position?
He makes the pass, Eric. What a great move on the outside. So now we've seen the racetrack get its second groove already into play here before halfway.
Myers jumps up to 4th. Fleming drops to 5th. It's still Andy Seuss on top. L.W. Miller in 2nd. John Smith, the guy to keep your eye on. He won in July here. And now some trouble with Brian Lofton.
We're seeing his brake rotors red. Is he boiled the brake fluid? Because it doesn't look like it's coming from underneath the hood. Looks like it's coming from the left. It could be an oil leak, though. I'm estimating, I'm guessing fans, but I'm just surprised at the redness in these brake rotors.
So we have a close eye on Brian Lofton, who raced full-time in the weekly series at Bowman Gray this year, was 4th in the March race here at Caraway. His last win on this tour was here at Caraway. 11 career victories, but in trouble here at Caraway in Carolina. We are at the midpoint of the Triad Commercial Property Services 150 here at Caraway Speedway. Eric Freed, Jimmy Spencer, Rob Klepper, and our crew. The rain is held off. That's good news. Didn't look good earlier. We have been caution-free here at this race, but there are some signs of distress on some of these vehicles. And with more, here's Rob.
So guys, talking to the crew chief of also the 23 as well as the 1 of Burt Myers, we're seeing a lot of brakes being used here tonight. Jimmy Spencer, you don't want to run out of brakes here at Caraway Speedway. They said no cause for concern. If those brakes light up, it just means they're working right now. The 23 and the 1 are still good to go. They still have pedal, and they're still charging the front.
What's interesting, though, is we're also starting to see brake heat in Andy Seuss' car. We're starting to see it in the Miller second place car. So this is something I don't think these guys were prepared to be running some 80 laps under green on this tight cornered racetrack, Eric.
Brunholzel is up to 7th position, by the way. Fleming has slipped back to 8th. Lofton is hanging in there. You saw that car smoking a few moments ago. He's hanging in right now in 5th position. And our points leader, James Savali, he told Rob right before the command to start the engines that he wanted to get up to the front as quickly as possible. Well, he slid back a little bit since the start of the race.
Yeah, and you know, he's dropped back to 9th. He's 11.5 seconds back. That's over half a lap behind. We're almost 3/4 of a lap. So to me, I don't believe he's saving his tires. I believe his car's not handling quite as well as he would like it to handle. And Andy Seuss is still, you know, keeping it toward pace, running 17-second laps right now and pulling away.
Andy Seuss has led every lap here. L.W. Miller took a couple of looks at him, but Seuss had enough to keep Miller, who is right now 5 points out of first place in our points race. But Seuss is 27 points behind L.W. Miller for third. As you take a look at the points leader, Savali, who is in risk of slipping back a little bit.
Now we see the 0-2 of Tim Brown pit. Something's funny here because he pitted under green and it looks like he had all of his tires up. So, Rob, could you give us a report on that?
Down to Rob.
Guys, they do have the back of this car jacked up. It looks like they're making a chassis adjustment. We can see on the front end the brakes are smoking, but a chassis adjustment to try and make this car better. Brown is out of the hot pit, so get back onto the track.
Eric, that's strange because I can't see why you would make a chassis adjustment under green flag conditions. So this car must have been really, really loose for Tim, a very experienced driver. Didn't want to wreck his race car. Decided the best thing to do is come in and make some adjustments.
Well, the Rocket was hoping to come into Caraway and have some success in the 0-2. He has yet to find that success. We saw him with some struggles at Bowman Gray, struggled a bit at Bristol as well. The Rocket struggling here tonight. Seuss and Miller continue to battle as they come up on some lap traffic yet again.
This is big now. The 2 car of the Josh Nichols is holding these guys up. Now here he goes to the outside, so he finally got by him.
Here is Seuss, Miller, 1-2. Andy Seuss has to know that L.W. Miller has had great success here at this track. And as Jimmy mentioned at the top of the telecast, call him the king.
Caraway's always been one of my best tracks that we go to on the tour. We run there, you know, frequently, so which is good for me because it's, you know, enabled me to always have a lot of success because we go to a track that I seem to run real well at. You know, for a long time I was named the king of Caraway. You know, won more races there than anybody else.
Well, the king of Caraway is in safe position right now as we finally get our first caution. The number 77 of Gary Putnam had a bit of an issue and he was stopped on the front stretch. He's up and running again. There you see Putnam, who, well, in his real job in many ways, of course, if you're a racer, that is your real job in your love, but he works full-time as the car chief for Earnhardt Ganassi Racing with Jamie McMurray. We've seen McMurray have some great success on Sprint Cup Series this year. But there you see the damage on the 77 of Putnam, and here we are with 90 laps gone by. We're on lap 91, and we have our first caution, and guys bailing for the pits right now, Jimmy.
Yeah, we also saw that Zero car of Greg Butcher involved, and he really held that whole mess up. But now we see Savali's car in the pits. This is uncharacteristic because they can't change tires, but evidently they're looking for chassis adjustments.
Savali in and out very quickly as the pace car comes around, crossing the start-finish line as Savali races to get out on the track in time. Several cars coming in. Brian Lofton is in the pits. Tim Brown is back in the pits as well. Zach Brewer has come in and is ready to exit the pits, but he's being held there. And a moment ago, we saw Frank Fleming fall back. He's out of the top 10. Rob Klepper's on pit road.
Well, guys, a lot of action down here in the hot pits. Tim Brown in for the second time. They said the stagger has grown on the right rear, so it looks like they're going to change the right rear and try and get the stagger down. The car is very loose. That chassis adjustment we talked about the last time he came was to tighten that car up. We also saw Savali, your points leader, in the pit. They took some air out of the right rear again. The right rear is getting hot here tonight. Jimmy Spencer with these long green flag runs, so we'll have to see how this shakes out as we get set to go back to green here in a while.
These cars are very critical on stagger. What they're saying is the right rear has grown. It's gotten larger than they wanted it to be, so it's opened the stagger up. So if they, instead of running 2 inches of stagger, they might have gone to 2.5 or 3. This is why they're making these adjustments.
Savali in again for another adjustment. We'll keep an eye on that as we step away from Caraway Speedway. Will Seuss be quick on the restart, or will Miller get a run? Back with that in a moment.
Now we see the car Brumholzer racing Myers for 5th. So Georgie not surrendering yet for late entry to come in here now, passes Myers and moves into the top 5.
Well, he may be a late entry, but he's not your usual, oh, I've decided to go race here today guy. He's someone who's had a lot of success here at this track. He won the Fall Classic at the end of last year right here at Caraway. It was a very tight race with John Smith, and that's one of the cars that he's trying to catch right now as Brunhosel moves up to 5th position. What a story this can become, as last year's champion, running just the 2nd race this year here on the Southern Tour, has come back and he has moved into the top 5.
Now we're starting to see LW put the pressure back on Andy Seuss. So LW looks like after that long stretch of green and these caution flags might have put his car back into position. He might have got his brakes adjusted right, got the feeling back that he needed, and putting a lot of pressure on Seuss right now.
Seuss and Miller. Lap 115, just 35 to go. Seuss has never trailed here in this race.
Seuss with his mirror forward. LW just giving him a little warning, saying, here I am, Andy, and don't start slowing the pace down. We saw what LW did at Bowman Gray, and he's starting to do it here now. So looks like LW is this late race guy is coming to life right now, and he's all over the back bumper of Andy Seuss.
At Bowman Gray, it was Burt Myers in the lead when Miller made a late bump, a hard bump, to nudge Myers out of the way. And then it was L.W. Miller moving on to the checkered flag, a guy who had had so much success. That was his 11th win in his tour career, but had not been in victory lane. Really, at the end of last year, they decided to end their race season early. They needed to regroup as a team, and that really has paid off here into 2010. There were 3 second-place finishes in a row before Miller took the checkered flag at Bowman Gray.
What we're seeing, though, here is the car of Miller's is just getting a little bit loose up off a 2. And he's not got the grip that he needs, and he's actually a little snug off a 4. So 2 different scenarios at each end of the racetrack, and we're starting to see Andy Seuss starting to pull away. As we see the 28 of Brumholzer and Myers getting it on here. These guys are racing for 4th position.
Smith getting a win here in July. Myers, number 1. Brunhosel is in 5th position. Jason Myers in 6th. Brandon Heyer now 7th. And the points leader, Savali, in 8th position right now. Jonathan Kiefman into the top 10 at number 9. With more on our leader, here's Rob.
Well, guys, you talked about the 36 getting a little bit loose. Andy Seuss just told the crew, I'm getting looser and looser by every lap. But this team, of course, has a bit of history. 2-time champions in the Southern Modified Tour with Junior Miller. Riggs Racing won those 2 titles back in 2005 and 2006. And it was Junior Miller who handpicked Andy Seuss to drive this car. After he got out, he said, hey, put this young kid in. He's going to do wonders. And so far tonight, he's getting it done.
Back in the spring race, Rob, Andy Seuss took the lead on lap number 1. He passed pole sitter Burt Myers on that first lap and went on to lead all 150 laps here at Caraway. He's going for a repeat performance in the third and final race of the Tour season here at Caraway, as Seuss has the lead over Miller now with 24 laps to go. We'll take you to the finish here at Caraway Speedway. Can Seuss hold on? Does Miller have something left? Find out in a moment.
Next week, the Southern Mod Squad jet into Hampton, Virginia to take on Langley Speedway for 150 laps of ground-pounding racing. Catch it all on Versus.
Looking forward to that first trip ever for the Southern Mods to Langley. Now, we are under caution. Watch what happened here just a moment ago and how close 1 and 2 were to getting taken out here. Nichols and Fleming, a little accident here right down below us, Jimmy.
Yeah, it looks to be like I'm sorry, but the 2 car of Nichols squeezed Fleming. They both got tangled up there. But look at this here, Eric. Here comes the leaders. I want to tell you what, this is as scary as it gets for a driver. Look at how close that is. My goodness.
And Miller was that. He had to bail out and take out a couple of cones and just do all he could to keep that position. So Seuss, Miller, 1-2. That's been the story for pretty much the entire now. But now the story changes a little bit with just 13 laps to go.
I think what's going to be interesting here, we're seeing Andy all night long exiting the corner better, especially off of turn 2. I believe Miller's only shot of winning this race is on this restart. This is going to be a very pivotal restart for LW. He hasn't had the best restarts tonight. So Andy's getting a great restart. Is LW going to be able to put the pressure on? If not, and Andy gets away from him, Katie, turn the lights out. I'm home.
Let's watch and listen here at Caraway. Miller, a hard bump on Seuss, trying to go on the outside, but Seuss gathers it back together and is holding on to the lead.
Modified racing at its finest. LW really gives him a shot right there. They're racing hard in turn 1 again.
Now Miller looks on the inside again. Seuss starts to spin. This time he can't hold it together and gives up the lead. Miller bumps him out of the way. John Smith is going to move into second place, and caution is out here at Caraway.
That's Johnny K, who got spun out in that chain reaction. Very surprising turn of events right there. LW smashed into the back of Andy Seuss. Now, I think that to me was uncalled for. I think that is out of line what LW did there to Andy Seuss. And you know, as a driver, I understand bumping, but you just don't hit people like that to knock them up out of the way to win the race. Not as good as Andy Seuss has been all night.
Well, you just saw when the pace car came out, Seuss cut right down in front of LW Miller to send a message, and another message being sent here is, well, this is where I should be if we were racing clean there, right?
No, to me, I think he's gone over the line. I think LW's gone over the line on this situation, and he has cost Andy Seuss the win tonight. But you know what? He was not the official leader as it came down. So Seuss has got to say, you know what? I got to remember this and move on.
8 laps to go. Restart. Seuss and LW Miller at Caraway. Seuss with a little bit of a rub sends Miller wide. That opens the door for John Smith to move up into second place, but Miller's not giving up without a fight yet.
These guys are on wore out, hot tires, running out of brakes. What an exciting race we have here. These guys racing down with less than 7 to go.
Seuss with a little space now. Miller trying to get around John Smith. Final laps tick off here at Caraway Speedway. Andy Seuss jumped out to the lead in the opening lap. He's had some battles with LW Miller. Now with 5 laps to go.
Now we're starting to see Seuss when he gets back under green here. He seems to be able to pull an exit off of turn 2. Miller seems to be a lot stronger entering the corner. Will Miller have enough time to close the gap back up on Andy Seuss? Just great racing right now from all aspects, from first all the way back to about 12th position.
4 to go, but Seuss seems to be getting some space, but look at Miller dig in deep trying to get there. But Seuss has that space. Miller can't catch him with the chrome horn.
No, and I think if Miller could catch him with the chrome horn, he'd smack into him. But Seuss's car just exits the corner very nice and straight. That's the key to a modified. These big horsepower engines, if you can get the power down and exit straight, you're going to start to pull away from that second place car. But yet LW, not surrendering, drives it deep into the corner. So LW is better in, Seuss is better exiting.
Seuss and Miller. White flag here at Caraway. Andy Seuss trying to become the new king of Caraway. LW Miller has won here 6 times, but it doesn't look like he'll win tonight for the 4th time. Andy Seuss has won here at Caraway Speedway. Those two race very hard here tonight. Let's see how this post-race side-by-side goes in the back stretch. Al Seuss pulls in front, and Andy Seuss, oh, that trip from New Hampshire is worth it once again when you come down here to North Carolina. Andy Seuss wins it down to the pits. Here's Rob.
Well, guys, Reggie Newman, congratulations. 2nd win here in 2010. What a night for you. Some crazy battles on the racetrack. Good job, bud.
Yeah, it was awesome. Andy done a great job with LW. LW had a great car. We were a little free air at the end, and I was afraid he was going to get us, but we hung on. Andy done a great job driving tonight.
Congratulations, man. Go celebrate.
I didn't hear you.
Go celebrate, bud.
Yeah, I'm ready to celebrate.
That is what Saturday night racing is about. That's what the modified tour is about. Just good, hard-working guys and gonna enjoy this victory. They deserved it, Eric.
And losing your hearing a little bit on a Saturday night, right?
That's just great, though, you know. And the thing is we saw a great race tonight.
All right, we will see that celebration when we come back. It's underway here at Caraway once again for Andy Seuss. Back with the post-race reaction in a moment. Welcome back to Caraway Speedway, where Andy Seuss has his 2nd wire-to-wire win here at this track this year. He knows the way to victory lane. Here's the winner with Rob Klepper.
And guys, his 8th career NASCAR Wheel and Southern Modified Tour as the celebration starts down here in Victory Lane. His 4th here at Caraway Speedway. And I tell you what, in convincing fashion, he led a lot of laps when he won earlier in March. You led a lot of laps here tonight. Andy Seuss, congratulations. An epic battle there between you and LW there for a while, but you came out on top. Nice job.
Yeah, you know, he's one tough competitor, but if we're going to take a serious look at this points, we got to be tougher than him. So, you know, it was a good race. These guys gave me an awesome car. You know, pole, lead all the laps, doesn't get any better than that. But, you know, we struggled here last time. We struggled last week at Bristol, but these guys do awesome. I can't thank this Riggs Racing team enough. Danny Glad, Precision Engines, Q Racing Oil, Rockingham Boat, everybody that makes this possible. Caraway Speedway for putting this on, all the NASCAR officials, the fans for staying out for this race after the rain, and thank you, Versus, for putting us on TV.
Well, hey, congratulations with your win, but I want to talk about that car real quick. You guys were getting a little loose there in the closing laps. Was it fun out there trying to hang on?
Absolutely. You know, if I finished 2nd, I wouldn't be smiling so much, but you know, it was good. It worked out well. The car was free. We were tight all day. You know, the track here switching their tires to Goodyear for the weekly series is kind of throwing a wrench into the way we come and set up. So we've been working the past couple times we've been here. We were a little bit too free tonight, but I guess if you win, you know, you're not too much anything. You're perfect.
Well, a lot of teeth here tonight, guys. Big smiles at Victory Lane. And Eric, this guy's chasing points. I know we talked about the top 2, but Seuss is in this battle as well.
Here's a look at how they finished. Seuss, LW Miller, John Smith, 1, 2, 3. Great battle at the top, but Seuss led every lap.
No doubt about it. But Georgie Brumholzer, a late entry, comes home 5th. Good run for him.
How about the change in the standings? James Savali goes from 1st to 3rd. Seuss goes from 3rd to 2nd, and LW Miller is the new points leader again, and he's standing by with Rob.
And guys, coming home second for the third time here this year at Caraway Speedway. I guess always a bridesmaid, never a bride, but LW Miller, man, you guys gave it all you had. It looked like your car was getting a little loose like everybody else towards the end of the race, but, good points tonight for you. I know you wanted to win, though, bud.
Yeah, we ran second again. We've the fourth second place finish this season. Luckily, we won the last race up there at Bowman Gray. The 47 car was good all night long. He was getting better drive up off the corner than we were. The track just got real slick, and, the Baker Motorsports number 36, we gave it all we had. I mean, I raced him as hard as I could. Finally gave him a little shot there and got by him at one point, and lucky for him, the caution come back out, and they put him back ahead of me because of the previous lap he was leader, so that hurt us a little bit, but, I was just giving it all I had. He had a better car. We had a good car, so, we'll take a second place finish, puts us back in the points lead. That's what we're, the big picture, I guess, but we want to win more races. That's what we're here for, so a little disappointing, but we'll take it.
A good second place finish, guys. Again, taking the points lead. That's how you get it done here at Caraway.
And what we talked about earlier in the show, 2 guys. Well, now we have 3 guys in this battle. I can't wait for Langley.
So be sure to join us for our next NASCAR Whelen Southern Modified Tour telecast. The tour makes its first ever visit to Langley Speedway in Virginia. Our coverage is September 8th at 7 p.m. For more information on all Versus programming, please visit Versus.com. For Jimmy Spencer, Rob Klepper, and our crew, I'm Eric Free. So long from Caraway Speedway.